He is making appearance number 4 this summer. It's his first time that he's been pitching in relief so far this summer. He's 1-2. His ERA is almost 7. 11 2/3 tossed. He has struck out 5. He's walked 10.
Yeah, that's been obviously the issue for him. You have a 7 ERA. You look up and well, you walked 2 or twice as many as you struck out. So clearly, then he's found himself in trouble and given up some hits, and that's been his issue. But obviously, summer leagues where you can come to hone your craft and improve some of your skills, and he's in a tight battle right here, 1-1. So Wilcher does his job. He goes 4 innings, only gives up 1 run, kept his team in the game. Unfortunately for him, he just didn't get the run support he needed in order to get a win, but he did his job, and now it's up to Cook and this bullpen for the Generals to try to keep this game where it is.
8, 9, and 10 batters for the Dealers this frame. So you mentioned a final line for Nick Wilcher, 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. He did not walk a batter. This is Andrew Baldelli leading off. He's 1 for 1 with a single. He has scored the only run today for the Dealers. Two balls, 2 strikes on Baldelli. He led off the third with a single and scored on a triple. First triple of the summer from Asheville. That's inside, ball 3.
Oh, you mentioned it. Obviously, control has been his biggest issue. So immediately comes in, full count pitch. Last thing he wants that leadoff walk, especially late games.
The 3-2. Get a piece of it. He did not tag. Applied by Harris. So Cook strikes out the first batter that he faces.
Boy, a really good pitch there by Cook. It's some late sinking movement. Just a full count pitch. Baldelli perhaps maybe a little bit low in the zone. We'll get a look at it on the replay. Yeah, that one in the dirt actually. So obviously it's ball 4, but that's some late movement on it and a big strikeout there for Cook. And maybe we'll see if this gives him a little bit of confidence with which to pitch here in this outing.
Here's Cade Horton. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Horton grounded out in the third inning. Batting a shade under 200 this summer. Good eye there to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Horton. Line drive. McLaughlin, he'll throw it over to first to put away Horton. 2 down.
You know, a nice job over there by McLaughlin. Yeah, not an easy play. It wasn't the sort of routine chopper right to him. Pulled him towards the bag in the third base line. He was able to glove it and then set his feet and make that long throw over. 2 really big outs for Cook and the Generals. It's the bottom of that order for the Dealers, but they've certainly had some success this summer.
That's flipped foul from Asheville. He's 1 for 1 with a triple. An RBI triple. That was his 3rd RBI this summer for Asheville. Out of South Haven, Mississippi. Plays at Millsaps. fouled away as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And as often is the case, from time to time, we'll see foul balls entering this field, foul balls from our field entering other fields. So had to stop play for that one. First time, you don't really see it as much on this field, though. We have a lot of foul balls that fly to our right and interrupt the game. Two fields about 15 yards apart, maybe.
That's called strike 3. Fantastic for Cook. He faces 3 batters and he strikes out 2. He's all smiles. Pitching in his hometown. Good start on the mound for him. We are tied at 1. Bottom of the 5th. Coming up next from B.
Opportunity.
Box.
Tied at 1 as we welcome you back to B&A Park in New Albany. Graham Toady alongside Jeremy Kennedy. It's been an entertaining game, totally different game than the first time these 2 teams met earlier today. That was a 13-4 victory for the Dealers. We had some hits, but nobody's been able to have the timely hit here in the second game.
Yeah, 12 combined hits, only 2 combined runs. Credit to pitchers. Wilcher did a good job limiting the Dealers' opportunities, and then Trent Bunting, we talked about him a lot, just being able to get out of jams. Bases loaded, no outs, got out of it. Second and third, 1 out, only gave up 1 run. You talked about the fact that he's essentially he continues to get out of it, continues to work that slider for strikeouts. He's gone now 5 innings, only 1 run. Second pitcher for the Generals. And it's all Jackson Cook last inning. 1, 2, 3. See if that can carry over. You mentioned he's from New Albany, Region 4 for a Pitcher of the Year, South Pontotoc product. Trying to put up another 0 and keep it where it is, which is a 1-1 tie.
Top of the order for the Dealers. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Drew Capobianco, who is 0 for 2 in the strikeout. Here's a little flare to the shortstop. Diving catch made by Holmes.
But we've seen some terrific plays today defensively. That one as good as any of them. This one looked like it was going to head into left field for a base hit. Holmes, shortstop, just moves over, makes a diving catch, and robs what would have been a lead-off single for the Dealers. That's a really nice play, and obviously, one game like this, you see their full extension. You got to have plays like that and make those plays, and Jackson Cook all smiles with his defense behind him when he gets that kind of help.
A new batter, it's Dylan Hill, 0 for 2. Fly out, ground out.
Well, you're starting to get that top of the order now up again late in this game. You figure the Dealers are going to make their move. It's with this portion of it. Capobianco, Dylan Hale, Connor Gardner on deck. If they get that far, Alex Strillman, the third baseman. That's been the part of the lineup that they've used throughout the summer. You're going to ask them to try to come up with some key hits, some key at-bats. Late, and you're going to see here Hale just sort of reaches and rolls over on it. And those are 2 really big outs. Now here's the big one, because Connor Gardner's had himself a day. A couple of hits. At least if you're the Generals, he comes up with nobody on base and 2 down.
It's the first time today that he has taken a pitch. He had 2 hits on 2 pitches. Jump on that one, it's in and out of play.
Yeah, that one ain't going to get over into that other field.
Cooks 1-1. And that one too far.
I don't think it would be a good idea to do the same thing with a 2-strike count, but I wouldn't be shocked. Dylan Hale ends up taking off, or the dealers try a little hit and run action also. Just see if they could get something on the base paths, get that defense moving. But, 2-out walk, 2-out HBP, those are the kinds of things that really can come back to haunt you. So Cook's got to do a good job here to keep the ball low in the zone and not allow Freeman to get anything up into the gap.
Dylan Hale does come in to run at first base for the dealers. Alex Freeman now batting with the 2-0 count. Freeman has the only home run this summer for the dealers. He's 1 for 2 today. Nice pitch, a delayed steal, and the throw is out of the mid of the second baseman Brown, so a stolen base for Dylan Hale.
I have a feeling that we're going to try something with 2 outs in this inning, because even if he's thrown out, you're going to get, Freeman to the plate 4, 5, and 6 in the top of the 7th inning. But you mentioned a delayed steal and gets to second base, and now a base hit can break this tie, put some real pressure on the Generals.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Alex Freeman. Today for both teams, nobody's been able to pick up a timely hit. Big spot for Freeman with 2 outs, a runner on second, and a 2-2 count. Pitch from Cook. Chopper left side. Holmes will glove from the edge of the grass. The throw, it is in time for the 3rd and final out. Got just enough on it to throw out Freeman. And the dealers again will leave a runner straight in on base. So as we head to the bottom of the 6th, tied. Graham Tody, Jeremy Kennedy with you at B&A Park in New Albany. Dealers and Generals tied at 1. Only run for the dealers came in the 3rd. Only run for the Generals also occurred back in the 3rd inning.
So I just sold like
Trent
2.
Bunting has been the story of the day.
It's like I just sold
He's been against the wall. And look, the dealers have, I think it's fair to say, the more talented team at this point. They've been the more consistent team. They have the better record. But we also need to give some love to the Generals, who've done a really good job, with their pitching staff as well. Wilcher was very good, and Jackson Cook, who has struggled this tournament, has done a good job since entering.
Here's a fly out to right field to begin the 7th as Brady Davis is put away. And you are right about Jackson Cook. He's only allowed 1 base runner, and it's because he hit Connor Gardner.
Yeah, 2 and a third so far for him, and obviously the challenge is real now. You got to make sure that your team gets to the bottom of the 7th inning with 1-1. You can't afford to give up anything right here. Be a really good outing for him if he can do that and go 3 scoreless innings after a solid start by Nick Wilcher.
This brings up Landon Powell, who's 0 for 2. Ball and a strike on Powell.
We still got one more game coming up after this one. Graham and I'll have that for you.
1 strike on Powell, 1 out, bases empty. Six through 10 in the lineup for the dealers is 2 for 10 today. Baldelli and Ashwell have the only hits. Pops up on the infield. Davis underneath it, brings it in for out number 2. That's actually Ryan Wood over there. 2 outs in the inning.
I can't say enough about Jackson Cook and the job he's done. 2 2/3 so far. This is a dealers team that can really hit. A lot of talent. And they got 5 hits on the day, but he has just been a real machine out of the bullpen. He's kept the ball low, haven't really gotten any barrels on him whatsoever. And the at-bats are not even all that productive. It's one thing, if you record an album, if you foul some pitches, you work the count, you make the pitcher work, 6, 7, 8 pitches, you've at least done something. But Cook has not allowed that either since entering.
And it's his first appearance this season pitching in relief.
Yeah, maybe that turns out to be something. I would imagine he'll probably make another start at some point. Certainly won't be tomorrow after all he's done today, but perhaps one of the games during the middle of the week or next weekend he might make another start. And
here's a fly ball, right center field, brought in by Hawkins. Out number 3, and the dealers go down in order. 1, 2, 3 for the second time today. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 1, Generals will try to walk it off when we come back to New Albany. Extra innings in New Albany. Top of the 8th, tied at 1 between the dealers and the Generals. So automatically there will be a runner in scoring position to begin extra innings, and this has obviously been picked up at the major league level this season.
everybody knew it except Tony La Russa, but
Well, he's been out of the game for a decade. What a busy decade and a busy season for Tony La Russa.
Yeah,
He's been in the news a lot.
It's been interesting for sure. And one of the things he was in the news for was about this. And this will be interesting to see how it's played. Obviously, do you try to steal? Do you bunt at all? Do you just try to play it out? But look, we have to go back and talk about Trent Bunting and what he's been able to do. I mean, 9 pitches he missed out of the zone. Hit a batter, walked 2 batters on 4 straight, and none of them were close. And then comes back, gets ahead 0-2, and then gets a pop-up on the infield. 12 strikeouts for him in 7 innings. Just incredible, the outing for him. And no matter what happens for this dealer's club, he was certainly outstanding.
Bunt shown. Third base side. It's a good one. Charging in. Throw to first. It is in time for the out. What a play and throw by McLaughlin. But the go-ahead run now on third base for the dealers.
Kind of felt like that's what we were going to see as a bunt over there. Yeah, McLaughlin did a good job, and he came in. I thought at first he just kind of played a little too slowly, but he was able to glove it and make a strong throw over. Bang, bang play. And obviously the infield going to be in for the Generals. So the goal here, if you're Cade Hort, just get anything you can to the outfield.
Horton, the number 9 batter in the lineup. 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs at third base.
I don't know that it will happen, but if Bunting were to come back out, he will feel right at home with a runner already on base to start the inning. That's where he's been outstanding today. As Horton
That's high and tight. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Horton.
But good job there by Horton just to stay alive. Pitch a little bit up out of the zone. Horton able to get a piece of it.
In the dirt for ball 4. Runners at third and first for the Dealers.
Well, not really the worst thing in the world there for the Generals. It sets up the double play.
Go ahead run on third base. It's David Dickerson. Cade Horton is at first. That's called a strike.
Boy, it could have got a gift there. That pitch looks a little bit low. Maybe a message from the home plate umpire that you got to swing the bat.
What she does here, lift it to left field, pretty well hit. That's over the head of Brocious, and the Dealers will take the lead. It'll be a single off the bat of Asheville, his second base hit today. That ball was crushed to left field.
Yeah, this one was hammered. Pitch on the inside corner, and that's exactly what Asheville did, was turn on it, and the high fly ball went blowing out that way. So the ball just kept carrying, and then eventually one hops the wall. Longest single probably that Asheville's ever going to give, but he does his job. It's an RBI hit. Finally, we've got a break in that 1-1 tie, and the Dealers looking for more.
Lineup turns over. Drew Capobianco's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 1 out, runners on first and second. It's down and outside, 2-0.
Of course, General's going to get the same thing. They're going to have a leadoff runner at second base in the bottom half. So if you can get out of this only giving up 1 run for the Generals, you feel pretty good about it.
That's fouled off the mask of the catcher, Harris. Hits sharply, knocked down by Brown, flips it over to second for the out. And that will be a double play. Everybody had to confirm that the ball was caught in the air, then to flip over to second to double up the runner. So it is a double play to wrap up the top of the 8th, but the Dealers do pick up a run and go up. Bradford swings away and drills one to center field. Powell can't get there. We'll have at least a tie game. Powell gets to it, throws it in. Being held at third base will be the game-winning run in Harris. So it's a double for Radford. It's his 3rd hit of the day. And the game-winning run now stands at third base with nobody out for the Generals.
So this is a big-time piece of hitting. A fat pitch over the heart of the plate. Radford does not miss it. Smokes it into that left center field gap. One hops the wall. You knew 1 run was going to come in, and I think there was a little concern that that ball might be caught or run down. Otherwise, I was a little surprised that we didn't get a chance at third base at home, but obviously second and third, nobody out. You got 3 chances to get 1 run 90 feet. This would be a huge win for the Generals if they can get it. And Trent Bunting, just unfortunately for him, not going to get a decision in this one, despite the fact that he was outstanding.
Here's Ryan Wood, 1 for 3 with a single. Infield playing for the play at the plate. So Harris represents the game-winning run. He's at third. Radford on second after he just doubled. Softly hit past the diving first baseman Davis in the right field, and the Generals are going to win it in extra innings, 2-1. What a game, what a finish. So Ryan Wood comes through with a game-winning RBI single, and the Generals win it in extra innings. So we'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up from B&A Park in New Albany.
Don't just live on.
Welcome back to B&A Park in New Albany. A thrilling finish and a great game between the Generals and the Dealers. The Generals walk it off in the bottom of the eighth, 3-2 over the Dealers. Final thoughts, biggest takeaway, Jeremy?
Well, obviously Trent Bunting was terrific for the Dealers. 7+, 12 strikeouts, gave up the 9 hits, wiggled out of every single jam, but also great pitching from the Generals as well. Nicholas Wilcher had a good start, 4 innings, 1 run, but then how about the job that Jackson Cook did out of the bullpen? He went 4 innings, only gave up 1 run. That was sparked because of the extra inning rule where you put a runner at second base with nobody out. Bullpen for Generals was outstanding. They struggled a lot offensively today in situational hitting, but they finally got what they needed, which was the timely hit, and they got it to walk it off. That's a much-needed win to split this series and force a winner-take-all tomorrow.
3-2, Generals knock off the Dealers. So for Jeremy Kennedy and for the rest of our great crew here at Maxtown Sports, I'm Graham Jody. Once again, final score, the Generals win in extra innings, 3-2 over the North Delta Dealers.